pull up your slides as well. And we will make these slides available after the meetup. And as I mentioned last time, that's one of the things that we always need help from volunteers to actually uploading the slides. Because by the end of the night, I'm exhausted. You did?
Yeah, I don't want to do anything with it.
Okay, one sec. All right, well, we'll figure that out after.
All right.
Oh, here, give me one.
All right, I like this nice spot for it. Okay. Get situated here. Okay. Well, I'm Reid. I've been a member for, I don't know, I guess the year, maybe
Way
longer,
more than a year.
supposedly. So I'm going to talk about this app that I made. It's called Photo Location. I know the name's not very, self-describing, I guess. And we talk about building it from the ground up. How many of you are Android developers, though? I'm just curious. So I know, okay, pretty much everybody. You guys can start it off.
Just hit the arrow.
Okay, very good. Okay, so about me. I'm a professional software developer since 2002, and I work for Discovery Channel right now, so everyone knows that channel, hopefully. And here's my Stack Overflow on there for anyone who wants to see the questions I ask and stuff I do. Alright, so someone asked me to help prototype this app. Basically what they needed were three things. Take pictures using the camera, being able to send these pictures to people automatically, and include the physical address of where this picture was taken. I know you can take a picture with the camera app and select people from your contact list and then submit it that way, but they wanted something that was just, I take a picture and it's just gonna send it off and do everything by itself. So, because they're taking a lot of pictures and it needs to know the GPS of each picture they take. Is there the thing that tells me if I'm going too fast or too slow?
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you. You're good. Louder though.
Okay. Is this the microphone here? Or is there
Louder for the room.
Okay. So let me just describe the front end flow, what the app does. You'd open the app, select a contact that you want to send it to, mainly through your contact list. So the app will read your contacts and have that ready to go. So when you start to type someone's name, it'll auto-complete their information. Or if you're sending to someone that's outside of your contact list, you can add it that way. Then it's going to, actually, as soon as you open the app, it's going to try to lock on your location first, because we'll need to know that when we send the picture out. The next piece is taking a picture, and after that, you can either submit some kind of comment with it, which is an option, or if you want to just keep snapping pictures really fast, you can just keep taking pictures as fast as you can take it. It will start to queue up this information and send it out. Okay, so first we have to figure out where we're going to send these pictures to. So the very first screen will ask you, who do you want to send these pictures to? Then it's going to try to look at location. It'll take the picture, the images are saved temporarily to your external storage. The resize, so they're optimized to send through email. Send through an intent service, so there's no blocking of anything, and it will either wait until you connect to the Wi-Fi to save on data, since it can eat up your data pretty quickly if you're not. And there's a broadcast receiver that handles pretty much all of your queuing of data if something failed, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, or degradation of your cell data. Okay, so we're going to get to some code examples soon. And these are the permissions that I requested. The internet, obviously, network to send it faster through Wi-Fi, camera, storage, your contacts, and the location. So here's what the manifest looks like. Part of it, so that's where you just put all the permissions. Next part is some basic architecture of the app. There base activity where I'm setting the toolbar, setting up analytics, crash reporting. There's the main activity that delegates everything to different fragments, listeners. There's a photo service that handles the processing of photos and the emails. There's no UI for that, so just hand it off to that stuff. There's a broadcast receiver handling all the incoming intents. I created a view called Capture View, which is an extension of the Surface View. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Surface View, but and then I also have a bunch of fragments doing a bunch of different things. And here's a cool third-party library that I found. I forget what it's called. It's called some kind of chips library. I forgot exactly what it was, but the chips are like what you see in Gmail with your picture, your email address, your name. Basically, it's reading stuff from your contacts and then creating these chips, is what they call it.
So the little thing
The
there.
little circle. So like you'll have your whatever picture you have saved for your contact, your name, and then behind the scenes there's basically a contact object. So you have your email and phone number. Since I'm using this mainly for email, I just need the email stuff. And here's some code for using that email recipient text view. These slides are written right somewhere.
Yeah, they will be. So what is going on in this code?
Okay, so this one, well, you're finding the view first. You're setting a tokenizer that's tokenizing what's it called, the chips. You set an adapter that's gonna handle all of those chip UIs. The request focus is so when I open this view, it's gonna be the first thing that it selects. So you can start adding more people, deleting more people. You don't have to request focus explicitly. And the dismiss dropdown on item selected. When I start typing in something, so if I typed in my name, REI, it will list a bunch of people that have that REI in it. And the moment I select it, it's going to select that and dismiss the dropdown. And then for the next part, I'm just looping over something that I have stored locally of all the people that I'm sending that I've set up to send information to, and it's going to populate this list. So when I come back to it, it'll get a pre-populated list. And then here's how you would save data. It's really small in this. So I'm basically grabbing all the people that I entered in and storing that in an array. Then can we go through each one?
Yeah, you know what? Hit escape.
Yeah.
And then you can command plus and then we zoom in.
Okay.
See if that'll work.
Oh, for me?
Click in the main window though.
Okay. This one?
And now, yeah, hit.
Oh, okay.
There we go. And maximize the PowerPoint.
Okay. Go back into.
No. Hit the green.
The green
The
top
green
left.
button at the top
Okay.
to,
Got it.
and now hit control plus, command plus again. More. Just keep going until it's like ridiculously big. Keep going,
Okay.
keep going.
Is that good?
That's better, yeah.
Okay.
And then can you scoot it over to the right a little?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't need the very right. That's
Okay.
okay.
Go get back into the.
Just leave it like this.
Okay. And just go to the next one.
No.
Oh, you want
Now
to
tell us
okay.
what's
Okay.
going on. Yeah.
So, so I'm loading the chips array to save, because I'm trying to save this data. So I have like 5 people stored in this. Basically, it's an edit text, and I want to save this data. So I'm going through. I check to see if there's any data to be saved. If there's any, if there is, then I create these recipient entry objects. I add it to the text view, the edit text view. Then it goes through this sorted recipients call. Wait, I don't know why I'm doing it twice. Anyway, towards the end, when we get to this, there's like a recipient entry model, and then there's these chips models. So I have to have some kind of translation between the two to go from displaying it to a model that I have. So it's basically the translation layer.
those preferences persist if I close the app and then
Yeah,
reopen it?
it'll just be there.
So you'd have to be careful if I was like sending pictures to you today,
Mhm.
but then a week from now I'm like I forgot. I would be sending pictures to you still.
If you didn't update the like who you're sending it to, like the contact list, so it'll
Yeah.
just keep sending it to me until you change that or you delete it. Because it won't ask you every time you open the app. It's more like I don't know. You could do it that way. I was more like I'm going to send it to certain people many
And-
times. So
And I have to have the app open for this to work. It's not a service, right?
what do you mean?
Like you can't just spy on me by taking my phone. I'm not looking. Turn on this app and set your name or email address, and now every picture I take will go to you without me knowing it.
He won't tell you
That-
that.
that could,
He does,
yeah.
but he won't tell you.
Yeah,
yeah. So it would do that.
it would do that.
Yeah, it would do that. That's good.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you want, hit Shift F5 now,
shift F5.
and it'll go back to the regular mode.
What is that array list? Is that some kind
Maybe
of
Apple
traversing?
F5.
Can you go back to your code again?
Yeah.
What is that? That array list, what is that? Is this a traverse along an array?
Which one? This one?
That array list right
This one?
there. What is that? Is it
Is what we're talking about right here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just creating a new array list, like initializing.
Oh, is that all it is? Oh, okay.
Shift F5?
Or I thought it was Shift F5.
Wait.
No, that's not it. Just go to slideshow at the top. There's a menu for slideshow,
Got it.
and then start from here or something like that.
Let's see if this works. It's really not sensitive on this.
Yeah.
I'm like smashing it. Okay,
Alright.
so
This is not good.
okay, the next part that I'm talking about, just talking about different parts of the app. I know it touches upon a lot of things. So this is getting the location. So I don't know if anyone had to work with getting the location on the phone. Seems to be a really good sensor to use. The first thing you do is, well, you have to have the Google Play services enabled. You do that in your build.gradle. Then there is connecting to the Google APIs, creating a location request. You pass that location request to the API, and you call. Then it will be calling on location change whenever the location changes, and in that callback is where you get your actual location. You get the longitude, latitude, and do all kinds of stuff with that. And here's some of the code for that. So it's pretty standard. I think I grabbed this directly from the Google Docs. Maybe added some flags in here, but for the most part, this is pretty much how you connect to Google API. Next one. And then this is getting the location request. You create this location request that you're going to pass off to the API, telling it how long you want it to check, how frequently, and what's the fastest you want to check. You got to be really careful. If you don't do too much, you're going to drain the battery, and then people won't install your app. But you can kind of play around with this. There's a whole bunch of stuff dealing with the best way to handle this.
What's the difference between set interval and set fastest interval?
Set interval is like every 10 or those are milliseconds, so it's
Yeah.
going to do it at that point, but it won't go any faster than 5 seconds.
How could it go faster than 5 seconds if it's only doing it every 10
Well,
seconds?
I think it's like the fuse location is other apps are going to, like if you,
Got it.
I don't know what it, like
So it has to be at least 5 seconds is the last time it was done for anything.
Because I'm all
Yeah.
piggybacking off of other
Okay.
requests, so.
And then what's the high accuracy?
It's like fine location, so.
So how fine?
I think it's like 3 meters, 5 meters. I wanted as fine as possible,
Yeah.
so, because I just like to know exactly where this picture is.
Okay. And is it a lat long that you get?
You'll get like a whole location object, and then they'll have lat long, and then from there you can pass it on to another service, which will return it with like a address, like a readable address and state, all that kind of stuff. This is a screenshot I sent you though. I don't know.
We'll pull it up.
Are you pulling it up?
Yeah.
I realize this isn't as good without like a real demo, but it's,
Yeah.
and then this is where you pass this into. The fuse location API is what I'm using because it's going to try to use your GPS or your cell tower or Wi-Fi. It's going to handle all that stuff by itself to figure out what's the best way for you and handle getting your location. And the next piece is the camera. This is a major piece of the app. It's pretty much the nuts and bolts of it. I could have used a chooser camera intent, but I needed to have more ingrained control over the camera itself. I couldn't just take a picture and pass it back to my activity. I wanted to actually have the camera open and do a bunch of stuff with that. So that's why I did it this way. This is for camera V1. V2 is out. I know camera V1 is kind of getting deprecated, but at the time, this is what I was using. So, is this big enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I think people can understand what's going on, but I'll just kind of go over real quick. You need to get a reference to the camera the surface view. We had a call back to this class, so whenever you take a picture, it's going to call back in here. I open the camera, and the camera ID is essentially it's going to be either the front-facing camera or the rear-facing camera. I have some options to use both. That's why that's there. And I tell the camera to write basically on the surface view here, and you start the camera by calling start preview. So that'll make basically what you see when you open the camera app. Let's see.
So if you're using the app and you open up the camera, you take a picture, but then like you get a phone call, and so now you're not in the app, and I then open up my camera separately. Will it still be sending the pictures?
If you open your camera app on your own phone, it'll be its own.
Just camera, okay.
Yeah. So, and here's the other part, taking the picture. So we have this callback, and this is back to where was it? The add callback. This is the callback that it's going to use. This new picture callback. It's part of the camera V1. So you would call take a picture, and that's whenever someone hits the shutter button or whatever you want to have. Basically, when you use the camera API, you're basically in charge of all this stuff and anything like taking a picture using flash. So when someone takes a picture, you'll call this callback, and then from here it'll give you a byte array of all the data of that picture, and you can do whatever you need with that. For me, I would save it temporarily, or you can save the original untouched. I resize it, sample it down so it can be sent out to an email, and the next part is actually the email. So I'm using javax.mail. You can work with Yahoo, any kind of POP account, Gmail, but here's the line message, create a data handler, set the sender, who you want to send it from, the recipients, who the messages are going to, and then the next part is just sending the message. And it's pretty straightforward. There's only 5 lines of code, and yeah, it's pretty much easy to do. I do this in a service, so it doesn't. I don't have to wait for anything. Like if it gets sent out, great. If it doesn't, I submit notifications so the users know if it was successful or not. And here's the app at the top. There's a short link for that, and then there's another app that I wrote, so I thought I'd throw it up there as well.
Can you go back to slide?
Yeah.
So you don't have to authenticate? Like I said,
There's some authentication
There it
there
is.
as well, yeah, but I just didn't want to bore everyone with like 1,000 lines of code. But this is just the bulk of it. You have the authentication set up, which is really easy. It's just basically storing your password in there.
And so you sending one email per photo?
You can send one, or you can send multiple. So it's just an option in that.
Oh, it's an option.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't have this one. This is just a simple example of showing sending one picture to one person. Links, and then I guess it's just questions. No?
Questions? Do you want to pull up that screenshot? We can try to pull it up.
I emailed it to you.
Yeah, I know. My email's on
Oh,
the
okay.
computer.